things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever home. Oh, what a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner. Is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner. Is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion. I'm lost in wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion.
Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Ripon Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Hello. Hello. This is My Life DIY, and
hi, this is JoJo.
Hi, my name is Ash.
Hey everybody, it's AJ the Rippin' Rabbit.
This is Cynthia Sue Larson.
This is your man Meta, aka Propagate This Light.
And you're now listening
to Darkwolf's Den.
The Darkwolf's Den Show on Ripon Common Sense Radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Are ghosts real?
We had 1,000 hours of continuous communication with the spirit world.
Does time travel actually exist?
The laws of physics seem to be compatible with time machines.
You know, sometimes I wonder about reincarnation. Don't you?
A 4-year-old boy in Adelaide, Australia, has told his parents that he used to be Britain's Princess Diana.
What would happen if the world found out that aliens were real?
I didn't say disclosure would be easy, but what is the alternative?
To establish a space force as the 6th branch of the armed forces.
We have so many questions and yet so little time, so to have you here, the pleasure is all mine.
Coming to you from a secret mountain cave, hidden deep within the Idaho wilderness, this is the DarkWolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and we are broadcasting live across the multiverse from a secret cave, hidden high up in the beautifully snow-covered peaks of the Idaho mountains. That's right, we're ripping through the electromagnetic soup, tearing through the atmosphere, and tunneling away into your radio like a quantum particle. This is the DarkWolf's Den Show for Thursday, May 6th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I was looking back over my shows and I cannot believe we have not properly done an alien abduction scenario episode. And it just really blew my mind. So we've done a couple episodes like Travis Walton and a couple that would suggest the alien abduction. We've never talked about it proper. So we're going to go over some case files tonight and see what you guys think of the alien abduction phenomena. Or for some reason, as it's called now, the alien abduction syndrome. And I think that might be a Mandela, guys. That's kind of new to me. But we're going to dig into all that and a whole lot more here in just a moment. But first, today in history. And speaking of the Mandela effect, today's Today in History kind of connects to a claimed Mandela effect. Check this out, guys. In 1837, U.S. blacksmith John Deere creates the first steel plow in Grand Detour, Illinois. How's Deere's last name spelled? D-W-E-R-E. John Deere. Now, a lot of people remember it not having that last E on the end. Personally, it always did for me, but that's the claimed Mandela effect. At any rate, the man created the first steel plow on this day in 1837. And that is today's Today in History. Old John Deere, that's right. A lot of you guys don't remember that E on the end, do you? I know you've told me that a lot. A lot of you guys remember it just being spelled like a deer, like, you know, the creature that runs in the woods. And I don't. I remember with the E on the end, but for those that do, that's fair. And that's what's so very intriguing about the Mandela effect phenomenon. There's another phenomenon that intrigues me a lot, too, as you guys know, and that's the UFO phenomenon. And there was part of the UFO phenomenon that occurred that when I first found it, I'm going to be honest, I thought it was bunk. I called bunkum on it. And that was the alien abduction phenomenon. Because when I was first studying ufology, it was lights in the sky. Then you could get shaped lights in the sky, triangles, circles, things like that. And then you want me to believe these lights in the sky are taking you into a craft and doing things? Oh man, when I first found that, I was quite skeptical. The problem is, when you look across the case files, you find all these people who have never met each other a day in their life, a lot like the Mandela effect. This is one reason I believe in the Mandela effect. Same reason I believe in the alien abduction phenomenon now. And that is the fact that across all the world, you've got all these people who have never met each other a day in their life. Yet they are all claiming to have had the exact same conscious experience with aliens. Now, I have to stand up and take notice, and I've said it 1,000 times on this show, when you find case files about the same thing from people on different continents even, who give the exact same detail. So it took me a little while to become convinced of the alien abduction phenomena. Well, recently I was watching a talk by Miss Linda Moulton Howe, as well as a couple other ufology researchers, which I've studied for many years. I've followed these guys for a long time. And they suddenly used a word I've never heard a researcher use. They were referencing the alien abduction syndrome. And I was confused, because I've always known it as the alien abduction phenomenon. Yes, some of you may say this is splitting hairs. Understand, I've been a ufologist for 29 years now. Almost 30 years I've been in ufology. And can somebody please explain to me when syndrome come into the picture? Because as long as I can remember, as long as I've studied ufology, it has been the alien abduction phenomenon. And if I go back and I find talks from back in the day that say alien abduction syndrome, I'm going to flip out, guys. That's going to be a straight up Mandela effect for me, make no mistake about it. And for those that have grown up in ufology, if you want to go look and let me know in the chat, I'd appreciate that. Because I'm really, really curious now. I don't have the time to look it up right this second. I should have done it before the show. I do apologize. But that is insane to me. I've never known it as an alien abduction syndrome. I've always known it as the phenomenon. But whatever we want to call it, we're going to split hairs off that one, and we're going to move on down the line with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is me just kind of a little upset about the fact that there might be a Mandela effect in something that I've studied all my life. Hopefully this is just a word they've literally added to the end, right? Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop rambling and bring on our guest speaker for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen the channel Watch Mojo, I think these guys are either abductees or just completely obsessed with the UFO culture, because as much as they are about pop culture and movies, they do a lot of stuff about aliens, and it's not poo-pooing the idea either. It's literally about aliens, like our episode tonight on alien abduction phenomena. We're going to go over some case files, ladies and gentlemen, and by the end, see what you think of the whole thing. Perhaps it is just bunkum, or maybe there's something more to it. In the end, we're going to have to listen to the case files and make our own decision, right? Well, to listen to the case files, we've got to get a plan. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, here is Watch Mojo as we go over alien abduction case files right here on the DarkWolf's Den Show on Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Rippin' Rabbit Hole.
The A70 incident. Gary Wood and his friend Colin Wright were out driving around 10 p.m. on August 17, 1992, when they noticed an unidentified black object in the sky and a bright wall of light in front of their car. After driving towards the light, the two men were startled to find their car facing in the opposite direction, having suddenly lost an hour according to the clock in the car.
And I mentioned a moment ago, a lot of these abduction stories have a lot of similarities between them. Well, this is no different. This is one of those similarities that I find in a large amount of alien abduction case files, is the missing time effect. For some reason, there's anywhere from minutes to hours missing from one's life that cannot be accounted for. This happens in most ufology abduction cases that I've ever read.
Wood and Wright would later claim under hypnotic suggestion that the drive towards the light gave them shocking pain, and that aliens brought them onto their ship for a mysterious examination.
And yet another piece of data that comes up in a lot of case files is this idea that they're taken aboard a craft and examined or had some kind of medical experimentation of some type done.
The John Day family abduction. On a seemingly normal evening in 1974, John Day and his family were returning to their Essex home by car after an outing. Upon arriving, however, Day noticed that the trip had taken hours longer than it should have. Although odd, it wasn't until Day's entire family began complaining of nightmares that he would eventually volunteer for a hypnosis session in search of answers.
The use of hypnosis to retrieve lost memories of alien abduction is very, very common across alien abductees. As a matter of fact, is one of the roots of parapsychology.
Day, under suggestion, later claimed that he recalled driving into a strange mist, in which a bright light drew the family car upwards into a spaceship. Other than this and a few other fuzzy memories, however, Day had absolutely no recollection of the missing time.
Though that be the case, usually over time, whatever blocking that the aliens use to keep the original memories away from the conscious mind seems to break down over time, and the abductees and contactees still end up remembering more than they were, quote, supposed to, end quote.
Whitley Strieber's Communion.
Possibly one of the most famous books and movies in all of ufology.
The story behind author Whitley Strieber's encounter with the unknown is the first on our list to receive the major motion picture treatment, but it will not be the last. Strieber was arguably best known for his horror classic The Wolfen when he published the much-discussed non-fiction book Communion in 1987. In the book, Strieber describes an experience he had while at his cabin on December 26, 1985. Strieber's description of losing time, lack of sleep, and repeated dealings with tall, pale, black-eyed beings fit the bill of what most perceive as the archetypal alien appearance, although Strieber prefers to refer to them as simply the visitors.
And even Whitley, for a couple years after his encounter, didn't really remember a whole lot. And it was only later that it came to the surface what had actually occurred.
The Clayton and Donna Lee abductions. Both members of this Texas couple claim to have been abducted multiple times throughout their lives, with Clayton Lee stating his first encounter occurred when he was just a child.
Now, this is another strange aspect of the alien abduction phenomenon, and an aspect that has been charted and graphed many times by researchers over the years. And this is the fact that it goes in bloodlines. Like, I've never had an alien abduction scenario that I am aware of. Yes, I understand that sometimes you don't remember. I get that. But to the best of my knowledge, I've never had anything that I could connect with an alien abduction syndrome or scenario. Neither has anybody in my family, to the best of my knowledge. We didn't have UFOs flying around. There weren't people disappearing. There weren't weird things like that happened in our house. It just wasn't a thing. However, some households have generational, and it's thought it comes down to the bloodlines of generational abductions. So you'll have the grandparent, the parent, and the child. All three have been contactees or abductees. And it's really weird that would go in the bloodline. It always starts really young with these. People that have 4 or 5 years old, they start having these encounters with aliens and have it for most of their life. These are regular contactees. A lot of times they will be taken along into the ship and become an abductee, of course, right? But it's always been speculated why this has been going on. This case file sheds a little light as to why that may be occurring.
To make matters more serious, Donna Lee even claims to have had an unborn fetus stolen from her against her will.
It has been speculated for many years that there's an alien race that is trying to genetically mix with ours, and we could also speculate the reasons why, whether it be to join humanity, and perhaps there are many of those walking around with us today, hybrids, if you will. Or perhaps it is to increase their own bloodline. For whatever case, there's been a couple cases, this isn't the only one that I've heard, where a person is pregnant and they have a abduction, and all of a sudden they're no longer pregnant. And the fetus is absolutely altogether missing, not just, miscarried, not even in the womb at all. There is a number of documented cases in medical science of these. They call them anomalies, but if you listen to the people that it actually happened to, they will tell you the anomaly was an alien abduction. So perhaps they are trying to create a hybrid race. And I was going to talk about that this weekend. Perhaps we'll get to that here in another show real soon. But they go hand in hand, because it very well could be that the abductions, and we've heard a lot of different medical examinations on women and men. A lot of times women report the eggs being taken, or men will report the sperm being taken. Or there's, again, many reports where there's a pregnancy, and then all of a sudden the pregnancy is, quote, lost, and lost to the point of literally disappearing from reality, according to doctors, or, if you will, taken by aliens.
The couple states that they live in an atmosphere of constant fear that they'll be abducted again, and have appeared on shows like Fox News' The O'Reilly Factor to describe their experience with these alleged alien invaders.
And what you're about to hear now is the voice of the victim and or witness, Miss Donna Lee herself.
What I saw on that particular visit, they were tall, slender, blonde, looked human, but not human.
Could you imagine that maybe they've got it right to the point that aliens could walk right past you and you never know it? Perhaps you've interacted with a dozen aliens, perhaps hundreds of aliens in your life, and alien hybrids even, perhaps, and never even knew. You know, we ought to do a show on the KGB alien book, right? The many, many different species. Maybe we'll cover that here sometime soon. I'd love to do that. Make that a whole series. What do you guys think? The Alien KGB book series or something. We have to make it a better title than that. But yeah, we'll see what we can do about that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next case file.
The Strange Tales of Mrs. G. Some stories of alien abduction are told by individuals clearly seeking fame, fortune, or simple attention.
And that is one thing I do kind of look for in a case file, is what is the witness's kind of goal? Are they wanting to shy away and act like it didn't happen and not want the attention? Or are they trying to throw themselves out in the spotlight and sell a book? You know what I mean? So yeah, that is one thing that I do look for in a case file, is what was their reaction? How do they feel about, you know, the publicity gained thus far, this, that, and the other? Kind of gauge that too, because, well, you guys know there's con artists everywhere.
This doesn't seem to be so with the anonymous Mrs. G, however, who claims that she was visited by aliens while washing clothes in her backyard. Her story deals with a brilliant blue light that hovered above her and lifted her up into an alien craft in 1965. She reported encountering 3 strange figures wearing reflective metallic suits. Then, Mrs. G felt as if she was hit sharply on the back of her neck, whereupon she found herself back at home hours later, with laundry still in her basket.
Once again, you've got the missing time. Why would the laundry still be in the basket if she wasn't gone, or, you know, she'd still been standing there the whole... Either that or she just stood there for hours staring off into oblivion, which I highly doubt. So, again, you've got your missing time, you've got your crazy light, and then you've got the witness experiencing something. And also, while I'm thinking about it, you guys remember when we did the Musicians and UFOs video? The Moody Blues said that they were all contacted before birth and were all regular contactees and were meant to be making music and giving out a message. I wonder if they're alien hybrids. Huh. I love the Moody Blues music. That would explain a lot. I don't know, they look pretty human. They were 70s. Maybe that explains the weird look to them, right? I'm totally kidding. But yeah, they are literally every last one of those guys. If you guys remember those episodes, every last one of the Moody Blues are contactee abductees.
The Manhattan Transfer Abduction. Linda Cortila Napolitano was living in a New York City high-rise when she claimed to have been visited and abducted by aliens.
I'm sorry. Props on that name. Can you read that name for me again? I really apologize.
Linda Cortila Napolitano.
Wow, big time props. Anyway, what about Miss Linda?
Was living in a New York City high-rise when she claimed to have been visited and abducted by aliens, who whisked her right from an open apartment window in 1989. Napolitano pointed to a nasal surgery of which she had no recollection as proof, offering up a new bump next to her nose as evidence.
This is another interesting piece of the UFO abduction phenomenon, and that is the idea of alien implants. And we're going to have to cover that in an episode all its own, and Dr. Roger Lear and all the amazing work Dr. Lear did in removing these alien implants from people. Now, this may sound kind of weird or cruel, but guys, we implant all kinds of animals to track them and make sure everything's okay with their population and with them. And I don't see it being much different from the aliens' point of view, that they would be tracking us like cattle. Now, do I think it's a good thing? No, not at all. Nowhere near it. But there has been a lot of these alien implants showing up in people, and one really famous place for them to place these implants is right behind the nose. So this isn't actually out of sorts with a lot of other case files that I have heard. And it makes you wonder, why would they do that? Why would they leave something in the body? Wouldn't it be neglected by the body when they have biological issues? That's another strange part of this phenomenon within the alien abduction phenomenon of the alien implants is this metal, whatever it is made of in your body, has this weird coating around it. According to the research that has been done and published thus far, you can go online and try to verify this if you would like. It's really amazing literature about it if you're interested. But it has this interesting film around it that allows it to work with the cells of your body for some reason and not be rejected. The body doesn't even know it's there until you figure out it's there. And one place, once again, they like to put them is right behind the nose and the nasal cavity. There's been different muscular ones I've heard about. There's different places I've heard them put, but one of the most famous places is, interestingly enough, the same place that's mentioned in this case file.
Her story of abduction was reportedly witnessed by 2 bodyguards supposedly working a United Nations security detail. In the aftermath of the event, both men allegedly suffered psychotic breakdowns. Despite scrutiny, Napolitano remained adamant about her story, which included being led inside a clam-shaped UFO filled with oddly shaped metallic furniture.
The clam-shaped UFO isn't a common UFO type that I've heard. Doesn't mean that they don't exist, they're just not the most common.
The alleyway abduction of Carol and Helen Thomas. It was during their daily walk to work when mother and daughter Carol and Helen Thomas reportedly made contact with extraterrestrials in 1988. The pair stopped walking upon noticing a strange humming sound and bright white light, which left them dizzy and disoriented. Carol and Helen both arrived at work hours late, even though they had no recollection of the missing time.
Okay, so we've got 2 people who both disappeared the exact same time. They lose recollection of what happened. They lose time. Both show up at work late. So either they went to the bar, which I doubt, or because they had a loss of memory, it's very likely that they had an alien abduction scenario.
The pair also complained of severe skin conditions, as well as feelings of constant anxiety. Carol and Helen would later state under hypnosis that they were brought onto an alien craft for experiments and had eggs removed from their bodies via an invasive tube stuck into their stomachs.
And once again, like I mentioned in the earlier part of the episode, it was really common to hear case files where people would report having experiments done on them. There were eggs removed, or there was sperm removed, or some type of genetic materials. And all these different tests were done. And like I said earlier, it makes one wonder if they aren't having these alien hybrids trying to infiltrate our population or even mix in with our population, or perhaps save their own. There's a lot of suspicion speculation, I should say, about why this could be going on, but there's no real hardcore evidence. We do have evidence of the implants, but the taking of the eggs and the sperm and then the taking of the later fetuses really has been a staple across a large amount of the alien abduction phenomenon. That's why I don't think syndrome even works there, right? How can be a syndrome something mental that implies if it's physical evidence that something else is going on? I'll never understand these scientism guys, but you guys know that music means we've got to go ahead and take a network break right here, ladies and gentlemen. So you sit back, relax, and we'll be right back with the second half of the Darkwolf's Den Show right after these messages. Don't you touch that dial. That's right.
We gotta stoke the fires and run off the men in black. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, that howl means it's break time on a Thursday night. Hi everyone, it's AJ the Rippin' Rabbit. Are you enjoying tonight's Darkwolf's Den Show? I know I am. If you are and you haven't done so already, please make sure to thumb up that video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. You'll get our notifications every time we go live. We're here every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, bringing you the very best of common sense radio, the Rippin' Rabbit Hole. I'll return again tomorrow night, Friday, May 7th, with a look at anticipation. Have you ever anticipated something? Especially anticipated something so much that you just couldn't wait for it to happen? That's what we're going to dive through our rabbit hole with tomorrow night. Anticipation. Friday, May 7th, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then Saturday night, we're going to take a look at small towns. As you know, Nikki Rabbit and I have been on a road trip. We have been in and out of so many small towns that we're going to do an entire night talking about small town mentality. Saturday, May 8th. Again, all shows start at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then we'll end out the weekend right Sunday night with a look at mothers in honor of Mother's Day. That's right. And perhaps I'll be joined by a special guest. We'll just have to wait and see. Nevertheless, Mother's Day is this Sunday, so if you haven't done something nice or plan to do something nice for your mother yet, make sure you add it to the schedule for the weekend. It really is remarkable what all mothers do for their children. We're going to identify all that Mother's Day, Sunday, May 9th, as we end out the weekend right together with you. I take my top hats off to Juanito 1975, who is our current fantastic fun king. That's right, he won last Sunday night in an incredible battle for first place between Alva Yoder. It was a wonderful game, and fantastic fun king Juanito 1975 sits on the throne all month long. I'm going to share with you the graphic for our fantastic fun king tomorrow night, Juanito 1975. If you haven't done so already, please hop on over to the ripinrabbithole.com. That's RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. Sign up for your exclusive backstage pass. It'll give you access, unfiltered access, down the rabbit hole to our privatized social network. It's a lot of fun, where the conversation continues. You're listening to the Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network. Now back to the Darkwolf's Den Show with alien abduction phenomena. Tonight, Thursday, May 6th, 2021.
This is My Life DIY, and
Hi, this is JoJo.
Hi, my name is Oz.
Hey everybody, it's AJ the Rippin' Rabbit.
This is Cynthia Sue Larson.
This is your man Meta, aka Propagate This Light.
And you're now listening
to DarkWolf's Den.
The DarkWolf's Den Show on Rippin' Common Sense Radio.
If you were meant to be controlled, you would have come with a remote, but you didn't. And that's why you listen to the DarkWolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf. And welcome back to the second half of the DarkWolf's Den Show for Thursday, May 6th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get back into the fun tonight, I would like to give a huge shout out to the two champions from this past week. We have new champions this month, ladies and gentlemen. First off, we have Juanito 1975. He is the official Fantastic Fun King for the month of May. He won the Fantastic Fun Show crown. Congratulations, Juanito 1975. And your previous king, the Champion Sports Nation, the 5-time champion of the Fantastic Fun Show, now hosts the Tuesday night videos. And I had the honor and pleasure of joining them the other night. Let me tell you, I had an absolute blast, you guys. They did a trivia. First time they've done this. We have another champion in the house, ladies and gentlemen, Earth Daughter. That's right. Congratulations, Earth Daughter, champion of the Tuesday night video trivia for the month of May. She's got the heavyweight title belt for that particular challenge. So way to go, both of you guys. Juanito 1975, the Fantastic Fun King for the Rippin' Rabbit Hole for the month of May, and Earth Daughter, the TNV Tuesday night video heavyweight champ. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to join in and take your chances, make sure you come back once a month at the beginning of every month right here on Rippin' Common Sense Radio and the RippinRabbitHole.com for the Fantastic Fun Show. That is the interactive fun, as much fun as you can have on radio. Interactive game show, quiz, trivia, all kind of fun little things. It's very interactive, very fun, and at the end of the show, we crown a king or a queen as the winner. And then, of course, the Tuesday night videos, like I mentioned, the first Tuesday night of every month, and that also has a trivia aspect to it that you can try to join us in the Backstage Lounge. This isn't a show on the radio, actually. This is a exclusive to the RippinRabbitHole.com. Over in the Backstage Lounge, Mr. Champion Sports Nation hosts that once again at the beginning of every month, the first Tuesday of every month. So if you'd like to challenge Earth Daughter for the title, go on over there and join those guys in the lounge the first Tuesday. And if you'd like to challenge Juanito 1975, make sure you come back for the Rippin' Rabbit Hole live show the first Sunday of every month. On that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the show. Where we left off, we were discussing another case of alien abduction phenomenon. And again, I haven't had the chance to research the syndrome and phenomenon thing, so I can't wait to see what I come up with that. But that's a whole nother aside. We've discussed so far the idea of alien hybrids, and perhaps the abduction scenarios are to claim genetic material from humans for whatever reason that may be. We've also discussed a couple similarities across case files, like the fact that there's missing time. A lot of this is brought back under hypnotic regression, and a lot of them have the same stories. They see the light, they're brought aboard a craft, and certain things are done. We heard a lot of these back during the Musicians and UFOs series that we did also, and a lot of musicians are abductees or contactees and have a message for humanity, and that message is usually clean up the environment and quit using nuclear weapons. This is something else that comes out across a multitude of UFO contactee and abductee case files, is this same message. But I doubt we're going to find this message in our next case file on the list.
The Bob Rylance abductions. Many on this list revealed their alien abduction tales while under hypnosis.
Again, an extremely common practice in ufology and parapsychology studies.
Military veteran Bob Rylance was another one of these cases. Although when Rylance underwent treatment, he discovered it wasn't one specific instance, but rather a series of them that had occurred over the course of his 20-year military service.
This case file, though it's only an overview of the case file, to be honest with you, it doesn't go nowhere near as deep as the actual case file. We don't have enough time to dig into it tonight. But this case file right here is what really makes me wonder how much our military really is working with aliens.
He claimed that he'd always been sensitive to the paranormal, and after hypnosis, claimed that his abductors would speak to him telepathically during these times.
This is something that we find, and I mentioned this in the Travis Walton case file, that whole episode we did about that. This is something that we find very, very commonly, is this telepathic communication from the aliens to the humans. There's not much vocal communication that ever happens in these scenarios. Most of the communication is done mind to mind.
And even used their technology to cure undiagnosed diseases within his body.
Which is exactly what we would expect from a race of aliens that is way ahead of us technologically, right? We'd expect nothing less. It also goes to show the benevolent side of the aliens, and they don't all have to be malicious and malevolent and have a bad intent. As a matter of fact, like I mentioned a little bit ago, a lot of them come back with this message of hope and peace and stop the nuclear weapons, all that good stuff. Then again, the argument has been made, perhaps they want us to stop nuclear weapons because that can stop them, right? I guess you could look at that from both directions, huh? But let's not get too lost in that argument, right? That is off the topic we're going for tonight. Next up on our list, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard this case file on this show a number of times. And Travis, if you ever listen to me, bud, I would love for you to reach out to me and come on and talk about your situation. I'd love to hear from you face to face. That would be absolutely amazing. Travis who? Well, you guys, I think, know what's coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to only skim this one because we've all heard this case file a multitude of times by now, I'm sure. The Travis Walton Fire in the Sky case.
A fire in the sky. Travis Walton was missing for days after he and 6 other men on a logging site spied a mysterious light on their way home. Walton's co-workers corroborated that the light was in fact an alien ship, which took Walton via some sort of tractor beam. It wasn't until Walton finally appeared, with no idea of how much time had passed, that details began to emerge about his time away. Travis claimed that he was held on the ship, interrogated and experimented on by 3 bald creatures with huge eyes. His experience was so spectacular, it was later dramatized in the frightening 1993 film Fire in the Sky.
And if you're curious how much of the movie was real and how much was Hollywood, go back and watch our Travis Walton episode where we hear from the man himself when he gives a talk about that very subject. An amazing talk, may I add. That's one of the most documented, let's be clear, case files in all of ufology. Of course, the most famous case file in all of ufology is coming up next. I would be remiss if I did not mention the most infamous UFO abduction case, the one that started it all, ladies and gentlemen, the Betty and Barney Hill case.
Betty and Barney Hill. In 1961, Betty and Barney Hill noticed a bright moving light in the sky while driving home. The Hills followed the light some distance, eventually stopping to peer at it through binoculars. Barney claimed he saw figures inside a disc-shaped craft, and hastily got back in his car and drove away.
And remember, the disc-shaped craft is your classic UFO today.
Unbeknownst to them, the Hills had lost 2 hours, arriving home to find their shoes mysteriously scuffed and their wristwatches broken. They would later claim vivid dreams about being taken on board the ship, and being experimented on by two mysterious beings that spoke difficult, broken English. What's more, Betty was even able to draw a crude star map of a distant and little-known system.
And this star map that Betty drew for many, many years was not verified until science finally actually plotted out that part of the sky and found out that Betty's star map that she claimed to have obtained from inside the ship was actually spot on. Guys, don't you love it when you talk for a living and your tongue decides it's taking the day off? That's been my night tonight, right? I do apologize if it's been rough on the ears tonight. It's been an interesting show so far, but what about you? Are you covered? If you were abducted tomorrow, would you be covered? Would you have insurance to cover you for that? You've got insurance for your home, your car, your boat. No, I'm not trying to sell you something. Don't worry, guys. Just follow me here. But would you have insurance if you had an alien abduction? Well, surely there's no insurance company that is willing to insure an alien abduction, right? Right? Well...
Now, you've heard of flood insurance and home insurance, but have you heard of alien abduction insurance?
Wait, you're serious? What?
If you are a believer, a company in Florida, they've got you covered. The policy only costs you $20.
And what do I get for my $20? What kind of coverage do I get for my $20 alien abduction insurance?
It includes a $10 million worth of coverage. So the company has sold nearly 6,000 of these policies since they were first created in 1987.
Now, Florida is a major hotspot for UFO and alien encounters.
Now, here's what you need to do to launch a claim. Policyholders have to prove that they have encountered aliens.
Okay, what kind of proof is required?
With a signature from a, quote, authorized onboard alien.
Oh, I've got so many questions. So many questions. How did they get the authorization to do it? Who is the alien? How did you get this worked out with the aliens? And how can you verify any of it? Oh my goodness. Except for maybe an alien implant, right? It's too bad Dr. Lear's no longer with us, but wow, what an amazing thing. Alien abduction insurance, right?
But get this, the company has already paid out 2 claims. 2 people have done this.
I'm sorry, what?
One person used a Polaroid picture with a photo of an alien to prove their encounter. That is true.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. For $20, you can get $10 million worth of alien abduction coverage insurance. I'm not sure if it extends outside of the state of Florida. I would imagine it could be gotten countrywide, right? I don't know. Maybe somebody should check on that, right? But what do you guys think? Hold on. I'm sorry. What do you guys think? I can't believe we got alien insurance. I'm sorry. I love the paranormal. I cannot believe they got alien insurance. That's just top notch. What do you guys think, though? Do you think alien abductions are real? Honestly, in the beginning, when I first heard about it, as a paranormal researcher, I poo-pooed it. But in the end, I've come to really honestly myself, looking over the amount of case files that I've read, have really come to believe that this is something that is absolutely 100% true. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think alien abduction is real? Do you think they're coming here and taking humans for a number of reasons, whether that be for hybridization and genetic manipulation, or to try to blend in with us, or maybe they're just trying to learn about us and track us like we do the animals on this planet, and try to take care and make sure there's nothing crazy going on. Perhaps they're worried about our species and would like to see us survive, or perhaps they'd like to see us survive because they want to eat us like cattle. Perhaps humans taste like chicken, right? Whatever the case may be, ladies and gentlemen, in the end, all you can do is look at the evidence, apply a little common sense, and you be the judge. close it out. That's right, that's it for this episode of the DarkWolf's Den Show for Thursday, May 6th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the den may be closing for the last time this weekend, but don't you worry, the weekend fun has only just begun. That's right, we kicked it off right with a very ufological discussion this week, and AJ the Rippin' Rabbit is going to take over the airwaves Friday through Sunday with 3 new episodes of the Rippin' Rabbit Hole live show from the road. That's right. On Friday, I hope the anticipation's been building for the anticipatory anticipation show on Friday, May 7th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. He'll be discussing aspects of anticipation, from anxiety to that fun anticipatory feeling we get when something fun is about to occur, like the Fantastic Fun Show, right? And anticipating next month's, I know I very much am, right? Make sure you check out that episode again Friday, May 7th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, right here on Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network. That's right. Then on Saturday, May 8th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, and at 10/9 Central, AJ the Rippin' Rabbit will be back one more time, once again with another episode of the Rippin' Rabbit Hole live show. That's right, I mentioned a moment ago that he is on this amazing cross-the-country road trip, and he's visited a number of small towns. That's going to be the topic on Saturday. That's right, small towns and the many varieties across this country. One of my favorite things about this country is all the little small towns that dot the rural areas. Those are where you find the best memories, in my opinion. But let's hear AJ's opinion on Saturday, May 8th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then on Sunday, May 9th, 2021, AJ the Rippin' Rabbit comes back one more time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. All shows here on this network start at 7 p.m. Pacific and 10/9 Central. He's going to be back with a celebration of the most important women in our lives. That's right, the mothers that make the world. It's Mother's Day, ladies and gentlemen, May 9th. Make sure you come back for an amazing celebration of mothers right here. A very, very special episode right here on Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network in the Rippin' Rabbit Hole.com. That's right. Speaking of the RippinRabbitHole.com, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hop on over there and get your backstage pass and open up all the wonders available at the RippinRabbitHole.com. First, you're going to sign up. You're going to get this backstage pass, and it's going to open up things like the 24/7 Backstage Lounge. Back there, you're going to join me, if you'd like, right after the show to continue discussing ufology or any subject you would like to bring up, and hang out with the rest of the rabbits and myself back there as we have some amazing conversations and some really fun times. I know I love it. Like I said, I was back there Tuesday night for the Tuesday night videos. Sorry, CSN, there's too many shows of championships going on around here. I was back there on Tuesday, and it was so much fun, guys. I had a blast. I suggest you start going back there and hanging out and become part of the Rabbit crew back there and join us on Tuesday night videos. Maybe you'll have the chance to be the next trivia champion over there. Also, ladies and gentlemen, while you're on the RippinRabbitHole.com, make sure you check out the Down the Rabbit Hole section. That's right, over there you're going to find our exclusive social media area. You're also going to, while you're searching around the page, find our groups section. I've got my own group over there, the DarkWolf's Den Radio Show group. That's right. Make sure you pop on over and drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. I love hearing from all of you guys here every week, and we've got an amazing team of moderators and people that help put this show together, and I just cannot let you guys know how thankful I am for everything you guys do for us. So for everyone here at Darkwolf's Den Radio Show. We thank you guys. And especially our regulars we have in the chat over there every week. Champion Sports Nation, Earth Daughter, My Life DIY, Zolog, Terry Taggart, all you guys over there. It is such an amazing honor to have you guys come back week after week. I know there's a multitude I didn't mention. Shout out to every one of you guys, you troopers. We really, really appreciate it. Make sure you share this out on all your social media. Let your social media know that we're over here. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of AJ the Riffin' Rabbit, everybody at Riffin' Common Sense Radio, as well as Wald House, Chick Mandela Effect, Michael Musco, the great, amazing mod team we have on YouTube, and everybody who's helped us, as well as Tom Baillies. Listen to that music. Get it, Tom. There we go. Tom Baillies, ladies and gentlemen, Red Shed Studios. If you need custom music for your next project, make sure you check out Tom Baillies at Red Shed Studios. Descriptions and information in the description box below this video. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, my name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf. And remember, until next time, stay awake, but dare to dream. Come on, Tom. Let's get out of here, buddy. Good night, everybody. How? Yeah, that's right.
I'm lost and into the dark. Some things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonder.